The Middle East now is an important junction, historical junction. The situation can go either way. So the dilemma is actually because the axis of resistance proved not to be as powerful as some suggested. If it's actually continues in this vein, because they still have capabilities to launch missile, rockets, hurt Israel and other allies, or again try to de-escalate it because they understand that military, then Iran is more exposed. The best way to describe what's happening right now in the Middle East, that it's on a knife edge. Israel is involved in a multi-front war in Gaza, in Lebanon. Now the other day, the attack in Iran, other militias in Iraq, in Syria, the Houthis in Yemen are involved. And I think we all anticipated an Israeli attack on Iran in retaliation of Iran's launching of 180 ballistic missiles on the 1st of October. I think the timing, because it was the Jewish high holidays until the end of last week, the need to prepare for such a complex operation was decided for last, the night between Friday and Saturday. The thing about this specific attack is that it creates enough room for Iran not to respond to it if it wants. It was a very targeted, it was not the nuclear, not the oil and gas installations, but it was military attack. Iran dismissed it as very weak response. Israel claimed it degraded its air defense system, Iran's air defense system, and hurt its manufacturing of missiles, of surface-to-surface missiles. So in principle, if both sides want to end at this point, at this retaliatory escalation, they could, but the question if this was going to happen. I think the Middle East now is an important junction, historical junction. The situation can go either way. It can go into an escalation and further escalation, further attacks. The war in Gaza continues on the level that we see right now, which still there are dozens of people are killed there every day. Same goes from Lebanon, but also retaliatory attacks between Israel and Iran. And the alternative for that is moving to the diplomatic arena and to try to diffuse the situation, to de-escalate it, understanding the potential horrendous consequences for everyone in the region, not only Israel and Iran, if this war continues. The reason that we saw so many countries in the region condemning the attack, it's more out of concern how it's going to affect the entire region and drag it into war, but also external forces such as the United States, potentially the NATO, and many other intervene in that. So this is it's an opportune moment to de-escalate it, but it's also a very dangerous moment if it escalates. I think Iran is a huge dilemma. On the one hand, it built the axis of resistance, the ring of fire. It was damaged considerably over the last few months. The leadership of Hamas has been eliminated. Hamas military capability suffered huge degradation. The same goes for Hezbollah in Lebanon, with the killing of Hassan Nasrallah and most of the leadership there, let alone constant bombardment of facilities, missiles, rockets, facilities there. In Yemen, Israel attacked, and same the United States. So the dilemma is actually because the axis of resistance proved not to be as powerful as some suggested. If it's actually continues in this vein, because they still have capabilities to launch missile, rockets, hurt Israel and other allies, or again try to de-escalate it because they understand that military, then Iran is more exposed, it's not protected by the axis of resistance. That's the kind of, when I talk about the juncture that the Middle East is, whether everyone comes to their senses and understand that through military means They are not going to achieve much short of destruction and hurting their own interest, and try to create a new security and political architecture that actually can prevent the terrible violence we have seen over the last year. I think we need to separate between the different fronts. And I think a ceasefire in Gaza is long overdue. It should have been reached 8-9 months ago, including the release of the hostages in exchange for prisoners. In the case of Iran, the United States actually supports and said, even if it doesn't involve directly, more indirectly involved in those exchange of attacks, it expressed its support in Israel defend itself against Iran's military attacks, the launching of missiles. So I think we need to look at, again, part of it has to do with the wider picture and the role that Iran and the negative role Iran is playing in the region. And sometimes when Israel has a legitimate reason, for instance, to deal with Hezbollah in Lebanon because of the constant attack and launching of missiles and rockets, at the same time, the way that Israel is conducting its war is not acceptable to most of the international community, because it involves many civilian casualties. So it's how Israel deals with Hamas, for instance, Hezbollah, Iran, but without at the same time killing so many civilians and destroying infrastructure of neighboring country. I think this is one of the issues in this war, that there were not enough frank and honest conversation between the Biden administration and the Israeli government, is while Israel had the right to respond after October 7, but didn't have the right to respond the way it responded. So there are differences, and we are a week and a bit before American election. So we'll see who wins this election. There are going to be a different president in the White House comes January. So we'll have to see if there is a change of policy. As it stands, yes, there is a real issue. While the United States and President Biden many times warned Israel against disproportionate use of power, of military power in Gaza, they didn't take any steps, whether political one in the Security Council or in terms of supplying certain types of ammunition and weapons, and put pressure on Israel that this won't happen. And sadly, Israel is using much of Gaza as collateral damage, as it does right now, to a certain extent in Lebanon. And that's where this kind of conversation between Israel and its allies should be very firm.